Today's episode was brought to you by Studio, the company that wants to revolutionize the way people see and hear headphones, not just as a technology device, but also as an accessory. Welcome to the Kpopcast. I'm your Kpop DJ PLo, and it's comeback stage with Kpop B-boy Soupermatic.
What's up? Always great to be back here on the Kpopcast with y'all.
And welcoming back behind the scenes BTS member Raman.
Hello. It's great to be here again. Thanks for having me, guys.
And today we'll be talking about Twice and their song, What Is Love?
Letting you know if these songs are daebak or not. Peter, wrong song.
Oh, sorry, right. Yes, Shiny. Hit replays. Got it. Hit replays are songs we recommend you play on repeat or replay for the week. So Matt, tell me, what's making you hit replay?
Oh man, I gotta shout out my homie Rico for this one. He's the one who got me into it because I never followed anything from the unit at all, but now I'm all about them boys UNB, especially their hit Only One. This song is such a feels trip. Gave me serious Spring Day by BTS vibes.
Yeah.
And the video's just very nicely aesthetically pleasing. There's an acapella section of the music video at about the 4.5 minute mark. I was just not ready for. Oh my god, the emotions. I mean, the lyrics, they really resonate with me well. And the choreo. Can I talk about the choreo?
Not for hit replays, Matt, but maybe another episode we'll get there.
Okay.
I totally agree with you that it is totally in the vibes of Spring Day. So Raman, what's making you hit replay?
For me this week, it's Siento, Super featuring Leslie Grace.
Which is totally not fair because that was my hit replay, but you stole it.
I know. I mean, I think you can agree with this too. It's a pretty great song with like Korean and Spanish mixed into it. Super Junior was one of my favorite groups I started listening to in 2009, and it's fun to see them reinvent themselves with each comeback, especially with this one alongside Leslie Grace, who I had to look up. She's a American singer and songwriter.
And that was like the song like all of K-pop was asking us last week. Like,
yeah.
Who is Leslie Grace and why have we not heard of her?
Right.
I think many of us had to Google it, and now we know who she is. But way to show how K-pop has gone overseas and around the world.
Yep.
We can take it slow. Lo siento. Yo no tengo prisa, vamos lento. Lo siento. Let's take our time. Si te ves hoy, mañana me voy. Loca por ti no estoy. 지금 너란 그 momento. Si no es así, lo siento.
So, Peter, what was your hit replay?
Okay, I'm going to break the rules because it's totally not fair. So I'm going to say my hit replay was also Super Junior or Super Senior. If you follow the Kpop Hot Pot, they came up with that phrase because these are our boys and now they are men. They are the seniors of K-pop. So I am also hitting replay to Lo Siento.
Ooh.
And the thing is, like, it's reggaeton, like, mixed with, like, moombahton.
Hey.
It's, like, the best, like, coming together at these worlds. It's got that perfect weaving in of that acoustic piano and the song from Leslie Grace at the beginning. And it has me saying sorry for all the wrong reasons.
Lo siento. 이제서야 너를 찾아냈어. Lo siento. 내 눈만 봐. Don't push 이 밤. No rush 널 흐르는 대로 맡겨. 지금 널 안고 momentum. Lo siento.
But you know what? I actually just noticed this right now. I made this connection that Lo Siento means sorry, and then Super Junior.
Yeah.
Sorry.
K-pop Hot Pot said that too. So on that note, be sure to check out K-pop Hot Pot's episode because they dive into the song a lot more, and I recommend catching it.
Ooh.
Once again, this episode was brought to you by Studio. Take it away, junior editor Michaela.
Guys, Studio Sweden has been an amazing experience when it comes to switching to Bluetooth headphones for the first time. The model I have is the Tray in classic blue. They're very compact, haven't fallen off my ears once at the gym, and with a 9-hour battery life, I'll have an episode finished before I need to charge them again. Studio Sweden's mission is to offer people Bluetooth headphones that don't sacrifice sound quality for style, and the Kpopcast is going to hook our audience up with a discount. If you enter Kpop, Kpop in all caps during checkout, you'll get 15% off your purchase.
So let's move on to our Daebak or not for Twice What Is Love.
We saw a number of things from Twice, but what did it mean? Raman, take it away.
It asks its listeners to pretty much wonder what exactly it is. You wonder exactly what that special 4-letter word LOVE basically feels like. When will you feel that love you see in movies? Who will it be with? We're always questioning that when we're wondering what that emotion entails. Twice shares that innocent, pure, and beautiful love that we yearn to feel one day.
You know, on that note, one of our contemporaries, none other than Kpop Junkee, also has a few thoughts to say on this.
What really stood out to me was this interesting juxtaposition between the music video and the lyrics. The lyrics are these unrealistic expectations about what love is and how great it's supposed to be, but just look at the films they chose to act out. Sure, we have The Princess Diaries, but we're also talking about Leon the Professional, which is about a young girl who thinks she's in love with a middle-aged man. We have Pulp Fiction, which is a Tarantino movie. Anything but a cookie-cutter love story. La La Land, Romeo and Juliet, those don't really have happy endings. So on top of how amazing love can be, they're seeing how weird, how tragic, and unexpected it can be as well.
With that said, What Is Love depicts many classical romantic movies that we're familiar with, and the song itself starts off in English translation. Every day in a movie, in a book, or in a drama, I feel love. I learn about love. The girls are gathered around a TV box, watching the enactments of themselves in iconic scenes, from La La Land, Princess Diary, Romeo and Juliet, and Pulp Fiction, to just name a few.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the cross-dressing, guys. What did you guys think about that?
That was an interesting thing that they inserted in there because, I mean, they're an all-female group, right? For a lot of these movies, it's usually a romance between a male and a female. So who's going to pretend to be the male, or who's going to be the lead dancer, right? Or and the follower in this setting. So it could be that they just had to have someone fill in and be like, okay, you know what, Dross, you'll be the dude in this case, or like, I'll be the dude for fun. Or it could be that they're trying to nudge, wink, wink, say no more. Matt, I gotta ask you, what did you think of that?
Yeah, you know, on that note, I did want to point out something I found interesting. So there's 9 members of Twice, right? But if you look at 3, I believe, of the enactments, Jungyoung's present in a lot of them.
Oh, she is.
I mean, she's there for Ghost, she's there for Romeo and Juliet, and then she's also there for Love Letter. Like, she's the love interest for Gio, for Sana, and for Tue, like, respectively. So I think it kind of speaks to the fact that even when Twice first debuted, Jungyoung was established as the all-around girl crush.
Girl crush. And then put that in air quotes.
Indeed.
Girl crush. Got it.
Right?
Okay. I feel like whenever I've seen videos of them at fan signing events, they do a lot of like kissing each other.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like to a certain extent there's kind of like pandering to their like male audience. I don't know, Matt, tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I do have to acknowledge the possibility that you may not entirely be wrong.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it could just be like the 9 of them are just really that close, but I mean, honestly, nothing's known until they come out and say it outright.
For me, when I see Twice, they give me that vibe of the cutesy girl, and seeing that kind of like pandering between them, I think it's maybe a fan service for male listeners, but also kind of gives that confidence that girls are, you know, pretty and fun and enjoy getting the perk of being able to show their beauty.
Yeah.
I had to make sure we had a female voice on this episode, or else it would be just a bunch of dudes talking about cute girls.
Yeah.
And, well, that can only go so far.
I just remembered that. I was like, I think I should mention it.
Yeah, I'm glad it came from you.
Okay.
I was just talking about this with my wife. Like, remember Girls' Generation? They were the original nine-girl group, and they were the original Girls Next Door. I think for their time, they were.
Yep.
Right? But what the quote-unquote Girl Next Door means is something different today than it was then. Like, I think today we are more willing to see them make mistakes, mispronounce things, and that can kind of be seen as like an affectionate gesture, right? The way they epitomize that aegyo with Twice. The Girls' Generation, it felt like they're more trying to be like, you know, football cheerleader girlfriend, you know, and that to me just seems really different. And what I like about Twice is that they're a bit more humble, is what I'm kind of getting from it.
You get that kind of tomboy feel with I don't know the name of the short hair member.
Jungyoung.
Her, yes.
Yeah, Jungyoung.
Like, I don't remember seeing much of that in like Girls' Generation's time.
Maybe they just couldn't do that as much, you know, during their time. But now, because
now it's
2018, you know, and you can do stuff like that. It's interesting because typically girl groups, they start off being super aegyo, and then they mature into edgy and other stuff. But I feel like we're getting the opposite direction with Twice. They're like becoming increasingly aegyo. Matt, Resident Once, is this true?
Yeah, honestly, like, if you look at all of their music videos from their debut of like UA up until now, I feel like they've maintained that mostly like cute and aegyo aesthetic, and yeah, I'm inclined to agree that if anything they've ramped it up, especially with their recent hits like Likey, Heart Shaker, and then even with this one, like definitely all cuteness and aegyo.
I think Twice does it pretty darn good on how they keep that aegyo, but they add this whole new type of girl confidence of being you and dressing up in not just a cutesy way, but also in like, because I don't know, I don't feel like many girl groups in the past did much cross dressing and did it well in a way that's still cute. But I think Twice does it pretty darn well.
That's the title of this episode. Twice does cross dressing well.
Yeah. Aegyo cross dressing.
This concept is Twice doing what Twice does best. It has each girl given like a completely different brand. A lot of high production value went into this music video, and that's what I so love about it, is that you've fully indulged into the K-pop fantasy, even though it's referencing like all these other like major feature films. This is a wonderland where you can imagine these idols. Like, what if they got together?
What if they did?
And the spectacle of this fantasy that we're seeing, I think, is something that's really special and unique for Twice.
I think so too, and just for like veteran K-pop fans that have been listening to aegyo type of music and are listening to aegyo music of Twice today, it gives a cool spin to it.
What did you think of the movies that they picked?
If there's any distinction with the 9 films, or at least like the 9 caricatures of each of the girls, they all represent a sort of different take on love, and like love from different aspects. I mean, as Kpop Junkee said, Pulp Fiction is definitely not a cutesy love story, if anything. If anyone knows Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction, it's a pretty violent movie. There's like an element of love in there-ish, but not really. It's like love hidden underneath a violent world. And then you get things like Romeo and Juliet, which is a forbidden love, a love that you know is meant to be, but it's not allowed to be. And then you've got things like La La Land, or Princess Diaries, where it's like a young love that's fully blossoming and like still has plenty of room to grow. It's like different aspects and different times of love in someone's life. So I guess that's representative of the overall theme of the girls of Twice. They're asking, what is love? So these are probably like what they think all the different answers are to their questions.
Through what they've absorbed through pop culture.
Yes.
Pop culture.
It's a curious selection to me, because I could have thought of more iconic love stories, but you know, we've got to remember, like, this is the Korean audience, right? There are some movies, like one of the Japanese films that's in this list, like, that is not
Love
a Western
letter.
Yeah, that's not a like Western well-known love story. And yet in Korea, and I'm sure Japan, it is. So that I thought that was really interesting. But the Natalie Portman film, what was it called?
Leon, the Professional.
Leon. That's such a horrible movie. Like, it's only good because it had Natalie Portman in it, and it was like her, her debut in her career. But like, that's a very unremarkable movie in my opinion. So why did they put it in? I just think they could have done something to increase the appeal of this music video, this K-pop music video. I think they could have just gone ham and done like the most iconic, love stories, and then I think it would have increased the virality of this music video and made more people relate to it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like Ghost, it's like that is a very sexy
definitely a classic
moment. That was like super nudge nudge, wink wink. And we're referring to the moment where they're holding the clay and they start to make a phallic shape in the clay because the ghost is getting it on.
And then there's also a French flick, which is Mina and Dahyun. It's called La Baume, funny enough.
I mean, now that you point that out, like maybe this is them trying to relate to the different global audiences.
Oh, yeah.
Reaching our Japanese audience, our European one. Still, the execution of the Romeo and Juliet seemed like that wasn't obvious, even for people who have watched Romeo and Juliet. I feel like there are more iconic scenes in that movie that they could have gone with. On Twice doing the K-pop Fantasy Best, what I love is that throughout this entire music video, all the extras are also Twice.
Oh.
So in the Pulp Fiction scene where they're all dancing in the cafe, you have all the other backup members and some members represented multiple times. Like going like, oh my gosh, they're doing such a good job dancing, and they're also the ones up on stage. And
I actually didn't notice that. Yeah.
But it's that level of detail in carving out the fantasy and making them the stars I can really appreciate, because I haven't seen that in other K-pop music videos in terms of using the main stars also as extras in a way that seems really funny and silly.
Actually, that's a pretty interesting way, because I don't think that I've seen that either. Many of them are just like backup dancers, but they're also in the back.
All these girls are learning what love is through pop culture. And that could be saying a lot of things about, adolescent girls growing up today and how they kind of learn through this Hollywood version of love that may not actually be real or a healthy representation of love. But I also feel like this unintentional message and this unintentional meaning that they're giving this is what it means to be a K-pop star. These are idols who are prohibited from dating, and yet they have to sing about love no matter what. They have to sing about love even though they might not be able to experience love themselves. They have to love all their fans, and that's a different kind of love. So for Twice, and really the K-pop industry at large, they only get to fantasize over what love may actually be, at least until their K-pop career is over, or the landscape warms up such that we're cooler with these K-pop idols dating more publicly.
That's a great point you mentioned, especially with dating bans. So What Is Love maybe is a great depiction of what exactly many idols are facing day to day as they're putting their faces and their idol lives on television and through YouTube. I think that's a great point that you make.
Yeah, and I don't think that was the point that they were deliberately trying to make, but rather it's this really cold irony.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in the fact that girls like Twice, and especially just any K-pop group in general, like we get caught up in the fact that these are idols and that they are entertainers and that they make these songs and music videos for us as fans. We forget that a lot of times a lot of them are starting off so young and that they don't even really know what exactly, for example here, what love is, and yet they're singing about it. So it's like kind of an interesting juxtaposition in that dynamic there, like KPJ said, that these girls don't really know it, but yet they have to sing about it and convey to us that this is what their idea of love is.
What does the commercial have to signify? Commercials being short and sweet, or?
The commercials also kind of showed this like unhealthy representation of love. It's like, to be in love or to get the boy, you just need to buy the right perfume.
Oh, going back to that materialistic.
I don't think that was the deliberate message, but it's just like all the different ways we sort of like interpret and see, consume love.
Yeah.
Which may not be real. What is love?
What is love? I want to know.
Moving on to the choreo. Kpop Junkee gave us his remarks.
This may be one of my favorite choreographies of theirs, and it's really easy to just overlook Twice's dance. But before you make a judgment, watch the dance practice video or a performance where you can see the entirety of the stage. Seriously, watch the second verse. The moves, the way they're synced, the way they kind of pop during the raps, and because they don't always have the most hard-hitting moves, don't take for granted how in sync and fluid everything looks. And Peter, as someone with dancing experience, you know it's not an easy thing to do.
Yes, and Kpop Junkee is absolutely right. Although I will say, doing the female K-pop choreography is a hell of a lot easier than doing like BTS male choreography.
Very true.
It's funny because whenever I'm not a serious K-pop dancer like Soupermatic is here, but whenever I do it in jest, whenever I'm DJing these K-pop events or doing like the Sistar body rolls and stuff, I do it because it's easy and it's fun and it's playful. And also, these girls have to do the choreography most of the time in high heels. So it has to be easier for them to do. And those sexy aegyo dances are the ones I love to dance to. With Twice, they're not necessarily being sexy, but like I feel like they each give their own signature like personality for each individual member in the choreo, which I really like. I really like how Suyu, she had the question mark, right? She gestures the question mark and gives the dot. And asking that question, each individual member has their own take on like what is love, and they show that in their each highlighted segment in the choreography.
No, definitely co-sign with everything that Kpop Junkee said. The funny thing is that I do come from a K-pop dance experience background, as well as like more urban and the hip-hop like choreography style. And a lot of teams, especially in these days, they're known for going, super hard, super aggressive, super fast, being hard hitting. But then some of the other like really best teams and individual dancers, some of them who choreograph for groups like Twice and BTS, they're part of teams whose concepts are more do the simplest of dance moves, but make it look clean and fluid. Yeah. And sometimes they're the ones who win all the major competitions. And I gotta say, Twice manages to kind of capture that same feeling here. Like KBJ said, they may not be the most flashy or hard-hitting choreo, but when they are dancing the routine for this song, they do it really well. And there's so much going on that sometimes you need to watch a second, third, maybe even fourth time to be able to capture everything that's going on, aside from whoever is highlighted and in the center.
Yeah.
The thing that's amazing to me is the fact that, Twice, they're known for having all these cutesy dance moves, but it doesn't disappoint, not even with What Is Love. I mean, we're given a lot of, intricate arm movements, hand shifting. They have a lot of synchronicity with quick jumps and leg dance moves. The group's choreo carries these certain movements and lines, and they have this correct alignment with the jittery feelings that you feel as a young person, either falling in love or at least like getting excited at the thought of love. And on top of that, each of the girls, they still manage to provide these hand gestures and these facial expressions that they are just come to be known for.
Right. And that's a good point that you make, Matt, that you can do something that's technically more difficult and still lose just because your execution of the technical part is hard to pull off, right? And as just a general watcher, right? Not as an actual dancer, but just someone who's watching the dancing and the performing. Sometimes, you can enjoy a simpler dance and enjoy that more just because it's better executed. In this case, like they had that fluid movement in the winks, in the curves, and the aegyo on point. So in this case, I think Twice really did the choreo well. And it's well choreographed, knowing what they're trying to convey.
From a girl perspective, I find that the dance does follow the typical aegyo with a little bit of body wave movement, and that goes along with the hand. I guess it's not really tutting, but it's more of just like hand wave.
Yeah, it's the hand wave. You're framing your face. You're giving a salute. You're winking. You're grabbing something as you're moving your face.
You're posing.
Okay, I'm making all these gestures, which our K-pop listeners are spared from seeing. But
I'm doing it too, actually. And,
I've got to see Raman.
Yeah, I gotta see. But no, for sure. Like, there's the heart movement that many fans do when they're seeing their favorite idols. They're doing this really quickly. I think Twice does it really well in showing us that cutesy dance. Twice does the line dancing really well. As 9 members, they're often going in circles around each other with one
Formation
member.
Changes.
Formation changes, yeah. And we have one member always standing in the middle. And I like seeing that when a girl group does it really well.
Yeah, and again, this is what Twice... It's Twice doing Twice best. They give each individual girl her own sub-brand. They each give her that moment to shine in a unique way that is different from all the other members, that completes the picture of the group as a whole.
But yeah, guys, I want to know. What do you guys think of the audio?
I see what you did there.
I tried.
When I first heard this song, I hated it. Like, I remember being like, wow, the concept is great. I'm going to give that a high rank on the Kpopcast, and I'm going to give it like the lowest rank ever for audio. And then I listened to it like this week. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of growing on me. Because when I first heard Cheer Up and TT, I was like, these songs are whatever. They were like blah. And then they turned out to be like the most iconic Twice songs ever. It's probably the same thing with this one.
Yep.
The chorus isn't that great, honestly. The chorus leaves something to be desired. But the bridge of this song, as well as the rapping, are really what stand out to me. It's whenever they do the rhymes on the rap and their sort of like cute Aegyo expression. I can't describe it, but that stands out to me, and that's an earworm quality.
Yeah, I think the song overall, it carries the happy and joyful high notes that fans love from Twice and are pretty familiar with. The chirpy voices are accompanied by the catchy chorus of what is love and wanting to know what exactly love is.
I know
there
what
are
it
quick.
is.
Do you know what it is?
I know love.
There are quick rap links sprinkled throughout the song, but listeners will leave the song remembering Twice's harmonic voices as a group. But I do feel that, like, at some instances of the song, that the song Heart Shaker can instantly be seamed in.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I'm just like, I could see it just remixed or mashed up really well.
Yeah. Or anytime Twice says twice in a song.
Oh yeah. You can instantly put Twice.
We've established long running here on the Kpopcast. What it really takes for me to instantly like a song is whether or not it's catchy, especially if it has a hook. And regardless to say, this song is definitely catchy as hell, especially that part that we've all been refraining, you know, that I want to know, what is love? Like, that just, once you hear it, it can't get out of your head. And I mean, whether or not I may be biased because I am the resident once here, I'm self-admitted Twice trash. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that I like the song as much as I do. I wasn't sure about it at first, but within about a week, maybe even less, it grew on me so fast just with every listen. And I don't know, I really love all the different parts and aspects that there are to it. Dahyun and Chaehyun kill their raps as always. And that bridge especially, I mean, Geo continues to just show why she's the main vocal of the group, honestly. And I do remember that there was one point when Twice debuted where everyone said, this is basically just Geo and the backup singers or dancers. But I gotta say, come to this point now, everyone else has kept on working on their vocals really well to a point where I think Geo herself said she felt that she needed to step up because everyone else in the group was catching up to her. So good job on all of them motivating each other, because their vocals have definitely improved, and it shines through in this song as well as the rest of the album.
Matt, you greatly mentioned about how they grow as a group, and oftentimes we see a lot of girl groups being that one singer and the backup singers, for instance, 4 Minute and Hyuna and the other members. But yeah, it's good to see that Twice is redefining the girl group, and not just signaling it out to just, signal. Yeah, I see what I did there. To just one, just to one group. I mean, it's good to see Twice not signaling out one group.
Well, you know, with all that said, guys, it's about time to bring it in, don't you think? Let's go ahead.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's give our final scores. So, everyone, with 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest as our scale, how would you rate everything? We're starting with the concept.
For me, I say it's a 3.75. I do like the depiction of the movies, and also it being kind of ironic with how each movie is shown is not showing a great ending to love. But the concept overall, I was kind of low-key hoping that Twice would do something different, but they do cutesy and like pure, like being pure and like confident really well. Yeah. So for me, it's 3.75, but in hopes of them wanting to do something different. But I give that 3.75, that 0.75, because I think Twice does the execution of Cutesy very well.
Funny enough, I find myself right there with you in the same boat, Ramen. I also gave this a 3.75, but the funny thing is that my reasoning's a little different. I absolutely loved Cheer Up because of the way that they did this different concept. And as Peter has said, the girls getting their different brands. And with What Is Love, it also instantly hooked me because I'm a huge movie buff and I love a lot of the movies that the girls depicted. But I feel like Cheer Up probably still did it a little better than this one did.
Okay.
Keeping it simple with the concept-wise, also because of the fact that, yeah, they're asking what is love, but they still don't know yet. 3.75 for me. Solid.
Nice.
How about you, one Peter Lowe?
It's a 4. It's a pretty solid 4. Like, guys,
snaps.
this is why I love K-pop. It's this fantasy, this
Why do you love
spectacle
K-pop?
of this colorful world that is highly produced and isn't something that you're going to get in any other form of entertainment. This is something that is truly unique for K-pop. And Twice epitomizes this girlish girl next door fantasy so well. And not that I'm necessarily into that particular type of concept in terms of, oh, I really want to see cute girls acting aegyo. I would say that's a lot less my thing. But the world that in which they put us in and how they bring us into it, they do so well with Twice. And every level of detail, from them all being the background extras and making fun of themselves, I think comes together so well. So it's a 4.
Amazing.
How about the audio, guys? Matt, I'm going to kick it your way. 1 to 5.
Funny enough, I actually was a little more like generous on. I think only because, as I've said, it's been stuck in my head ever since I first listened to it, and this probably ranks higher with me for my favorite Twice songs. I mean, I definitely find it better than, what was it, Signal and Knock Knock, at least just as a personal taste, being the resident ones here. So I actually gave the audio a solid 4.
Very good.
Nice. I'm gonna have to say 3.5. I do like other Twice songs a bit more, especially DT and Likey. That's very catchy. This song does do the whole concept of providing the high pitch "What Is Love," but I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of variety from Twice. But I can't deny that they do it well. PLo?
2.5. I was going to give it lower earlier this week, but it grew on me. So 2.5.
Why 2.5?
Still not catchy. I mean, it grew on me this week. It like, I can remember it. And I can remember them saying like, "What is love?" with that reverb and the rap in the bridge, but it's not there for me all the way. I'm going to remember the choreography more. I'm going to remember the videos more. But not the song itself as much in terms of the overall Twice discography, to your point, Raman. So 2.5.
Oh, all right.
Okay, there we have it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've discussed the concept, the meaning, the visuals. We've discussed the audio, the song itself. But when it comes to our final score here on the Kpopcast, is this song Daebak or not?
As immensely popular as they are, I think there are aspects that people tend to overlook because of preconceived notions or the cover of the book. I think there's a lot to this music video. The dance is more intricate than you would think, and the bridge of the song makes me burst out into tears every time. So yeah, it's gonna be a Daebak for me.
Resident once, Supermatic. I think I know what your score is gonna be.
Do you? I don't know. Yeah, Daebak. I mean, did you expect anything less?
Can I say semi-Daebak?
No, it's got to be one or the other.
Okay.
All or nothing.
Okay. Yeah, then Daebak. Yeah, Daebak for me too. I don't hate the song, but I don't extremely love it. I just think it's good. It's a solid. It's a solid Twice song. PLo?
Daebak.
Nice.
Daebak.
It's unanimous.
So let's close out with some final thoughts from Kpop Junkee.
They're all becoming adults now, and they're writing lyrics. Plus, JYP is getting them more and more involved. So as he slowly releases them, I think we'll naturally begin to get a different feeling in their music, especially if their taste in movies have anything to do with it.
Although I would like for them to become less aegyo, and I need something that's not aegyo. We're seeing the different emotions of a single girl, right? That is Twice. We're seeing the 9 different emotions. In this case, it's the 9 different fantasies that a girl has for love, as epitomized in these movies. Even, the erotic, the platonic, the romantic, in all its forms. So I would like to see something different, maybe a different emotion from Twice.
Yeah, I think that they might go ahead and experiment with something different and a little more grown up for the next concept, but only time will tell.
Looking forward to the redefinition of girls next door to women next door.
Ooh.
When you're a woman, you have your own house. You pay the mortgage.
Oh, you got a gate, not a house. You got a gate.
So every week we're now talking about what are the top songs in K-pop according to the Kville Entertainment Charts. So for this 3rd week of April, do you guys have any guesses what is in at number 3?
I won't be surprised if I see Pentagon Shine anywhere around here.
I want to say Super Junior.
Oh man, you guys are both so close. But number 3 is Pentagon Shine. So very good, Supermatic.
Oh, nice, nice. Nice.
Yeah, I've been jamming to EXID as well, and that came in at number 4 this week.
Ooh.
And at number 5 was GOT7 and their song Look.
Oh wow.
So guys, I'll tell you the top 2 songs and you tell me which one you think came in at number 1 according to the Kville charts.
Alright.
Was it Mama Moo and their song Starry Night? Or Monsta X and their song Jealous?
If I know the Kville chart as I think I do, I'm gonna go with Monsta X here. As much as I love Mamamoo song personally more, I just feel like Kville's probably going to have Monsta X at the top.
I want to say Monsta X is second and first.
Well, Matt is right again. Matt, you've nailed it on the charts. So it is Monsta X coming in at number 1 and Mamamoo in at number 2.
Okay.
Both obviously great songs to get onto the top 3. And these are voter submitted polls and charts, so you just gotta vote each week on Kville Entertainment, so go check out their charts.
Nice.
Every Tuesday we have our Twitter chats at hashtag #KpopChat, Tuesday at 12 p.m. or noon, led by Soupermatic. And this week we had a conversation, a very weighty conversation that somehow managed to stay civil and measured and mature. It was on appropriation, and Soupermatic, you had a notable tweet from that conversation.
Yes, I would very much like to thank and spotlight none other than the lovely Miss Monique Jones, who took part in our K-pop chat. Thank you so much if you happen to be listening here. And she had a response to when we asked the question about, our listeners and followers' takes on appropriation in K-pop. And her response was, ooh, such a loaded question, since there's a complicated answer. As far as the recent EXO incident goes, Chen needs to at least apologize. And number 2, I feel like a part of K-pop training needs to be an anti-blackness course or something. To me, cultural differences is different from racism. I do think they need to realize how their comments, their lack of awareness, are hurtful to their fans and reinforce the same stereotyping and racism that affects us. And just to add on to that, she pretty much speaks very, very valid points, and I fully agree with her.
Yeah, we'll probably address that in a future episode. It's a can of worms that needs to go deeper, but just not in this segment of the show. Also, on our last episode, What Will Said tweeted at us and Rodri saying, "Just finished listening to your Appreciation cast. Here for it." And how is Neurotic not your favorite TVXQ music video? Catch Me is a close second. That choreo deserved an Emmy. And I agreed with what Will said. Neurotic is a song that people are still requesting at K-pop events to this day as a K-pop DJ.
If I may actually share a fun fact with both of you as well as to all of our listeners out there. So it's been well established that I truly got into K-pop through SNSD and the G music video. But do you guys want to know what the very, very first K-pop song and music video was that I ever saw and heard?
TVSQ Neurotic.
It was Neurotic.
Yeah.
Oh, snaps. Yep. Under my skin.
Imagine having that as your very first exposure to K-pop.
Dude, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends about the Kpopcast.
Yeah, Kpopcasts are a great way to listen and think about K-pop. So signing off, let our listeners know where they can find you online and tell us which K-pop group defined love best. Was it Winner, who said, love is a lie? Girls' Generation, who said, love is bitter? Or perhaps Teen Top, who were more abstract by saying, love is? Perhaps Starship Planet with Love Is You? Or is Love Gone by Map 6? Or lastly, Love is Energy by Chi Chi? Let us know.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Raman. And for me, my choice is Love is Bitter by SNSD, a good song on the whole dark side of love.
You can find me at Twitter, as always, at Soupermatic. That is Soupermatic. And for me, I think we're going to have to go with the boys at Teen Top here, because, I mean, honestly, I can't really define love completely. It's as abstract as their song title is.
Love is. I don't even know Starship Planet, but I'm just going to say Love Is You because that's the right one. And you can find me at DJ PLo. Don't forget to tell us your answer for this week's question by tweeting at us at the Kpopcast. We'll catch you all again next week.
Thank you.
See you guys later. Bye.
Oh, maybe, you know what? Sorry, Nika.
Sorry, Nika.
We should